Hey everybody, I'm Marty Dodson, here with Clay Mills in the SongTown studio. And I'm going to throw a topic at Clay that we have not discussed and came out of the master classes that I'm teaching. In my basic master class, the first level master class, one of the things I try to do is, people will come in with these songs that have some great lines and they have some great concepts, and I read their lyric and I go, I don't have any idea what you're talking about.
Right.
In the first week, I talk about, okay, we want to focus on simplicity and clarity. So I want you to write a song that is super boring.
Do you want me to write a song?
No, people in my class.
Oh, okay.
But you can pretend to be in my class. I tell them I want you to write a song that's so simple that you think everyone's going to say it's boring. And I want you just to say what you want to say in the song. So they do a blueprint of the song, and they write the song. And I've had one guy one year that said, I almost didn't turn in my assignment. This is the most boring, worst song I've ever written. And we looked at it in class, and every person in the class was like, that's the best thing anybody turned in this week.
Yeah.
And in his mind, it was, well, I wasn't a songwriter on this one because there's nothing clever. There's no fancy rhymes.
Right.
Right. I just said a thing, but the thing that he said was super powerful.
Yeah.
And it was so clear, and everybody in the class gave him an ovation for this work that he thought was too boring. And as we go through those exercises, everyone starts writing better and better and more clear, and it's simple, but they're clearly saying the thing. And I tell them in class, if you put too much salt in the recipe, you can't get it out. If you decide the recipe needs a little more salt, you can add that. So I try to get them in the mindset of just say it and then go back and look at it and go, can I make it more interesting? Are there more interesting way to say that? Or did I use a cliche or something like that? But add the salt at the end instead of trying to put all this clever stuff and make people, go, oh, wow, I've never rhymed this and this before. That's so cool, when they don't know what you're talking about. So do you have any thoughts on being simple and clear with your writing?
Yeah. This is a big thing. I'm always checking my songs going, is this believable? And I think in a lot of ways, it's the same thing. If you're being clear and you're conveying your message in a real way, it's believable. But if you're trying to be too clever, trying to impress people with your writing, it's not going to come across believable. It's going to come across like you're trying to write a great song. Tom Douglas, phenomenal writer, once said that you can't write a great song trying to write a great song. And so if your mission is to write a great song, it's not going to happen, So you need to, first of all, be real, be clear, be believable in what you're trying to write. And I see it not just with lyrics, I see it with music. People are trying, to impress you so much, say in the verse of a song, that they do so much with their melody in the verse of the song, they literally don't have anywhere to go. And songs are about pacing. If you're a verse-chorus song, you start your verse out very conversationally, and you're building for that big moment in the chorus. But a lot of people, they want to impress you right off the bat with how good they are, and they have all their big moments in that first verse. And then when they hit the chorus may be good by itself, but they haven't set it up well, and so the chorus has no punch to it. And we're teaching a class soon about adding more heart to your songs. And that's part of it, is learning how to pace your songs so you have the emotional part where the emotional part's supposed to go. If you put the strong parts, the emotional parts in the wrong places, then you've totally blown the effect of your song, and it's not going to impact people. So learning how to be clear, how to pace your song, knowing the spots that are important in the song, I think all of that, is going to make you have a more powerful song.
Yeah. And to your point about trying to write a great song, years ago, a guy came to me and said, I know you've written a book. Talk to me about how to get a book published. And I said, what do you want to write a book about? And he said, I just want to buy a boat. And, I said, well, I think you have to have something to say, and that's, I think, behind Tom Douglas's quote is like, you write a great song by having something to say.
Right.
And so the most important thing is having clarity around that something, what that is, and so if you're writing the song, I Can't Make You Love Me If You Don't, you gotta get clarity around that idea and clearly communicate that, which they did in that song. But if you're using all these clever lines and quirky rhymes and things like that, I'm probably going to lose that message, and that's a song that's a great example of really simple communication and just saying the thing that you intend to say.
Yeah, I mean, that song starts out so simple. Turn down the lights, turn down the bed, turn down these voices and hear in my head. Yeah. It's like, whoa. And it's just simple language, but when they hit that chorus and then they're singing, I Can't Make You Love Me If You Don't, then you feel it.
Mm-hmm.
But if they had started out the verse going, you look like it's over for you, and I guess I can't make you love me, and then you get to the chorus, and you've already blown it.
Yeah,
so
you've already said it. Starting
out very simple, starting out very clear, painting a scene, and knowing when to bring that emotional punch. Mm-hmm. That's the key to it all.
Yeah. A couple of things that I teach in my class to help bring clarity and simplicity are to write at the top of your Word doc or your paper, if you're writing on paper, here's the emotion behind this song. And continually as you write, check yourself to make sure that you're staying true to that emotion. Or if you're kind of chasing rabbits and being all over the place. Another exercise I give people is to write to an existing melody. And some of the people in my class are lyricists only. Some are people that write complete songs. But it causes everybody to get out of their box that they're in. Because, people will come in and go, oh, I'd never written something with this phrasing.
Right.
Or, the way they came in after the beat on the chorus made me do this thing that I've never tried, And I think what it did was it takes one element off the plate for them. They're like, okay, I'm not worried about melody.
You're co-writing.
Yeah, exactly. You're co-writing with Paul McCartney, whoever. But, taking the melody off their plate lets them focus on this needs to flow just like that song flowed.
Right, exactly.
And I need to pay attention to how the syllables are falling and that it sounds natural and all that kind of stuff. I challenge people all the time, just tell me what you want to say. Right. Just say the thing, So if your blueprint says women are hard for men to understand, say a woman is a mystery, man just can't understand, or something like that. Another thing that we do in my class is I have people read their lyric to me out loud in front of the class. And it's funny when they do that, they'll go, ooh, I sounded like Shakespeare there, didn't I? Because I think when we put it on paper or we type it, we're not hearing it come out of somebody's mouth.
Right.
And when we hear it come out of our mouth and it sounds too poetic or it sounds clunky or it's hard to get it in rhythm, we're like, oh, that spot bothered me for some reason. And that can help you too to kind of just simplify it. If something's feeling like I shifted voice, and became a poet all of a sudden, or I'm saying words that are hard to say. Sometimes people will stumble over a word, and I'm like, if you can't say that clearly, then it's going to be hard for somebody to sing it.
It's funny how things sound different when we're playing our songs for someone. It's like when you're sitting at a record company playing an A&R person, your latest demo, and then you're hearing it back and you're hearing all the imperfections. Yeah. Like, oh, I should have made that line better, or this intro is too long, or like there's just something about being under the microscope that you see all those imperfections, where when you were at home listening, you didn't hear any of that stuff. Yeah.
Well, there was one time I was playing for an A&R person, and it was coming up on this line, and I go, this is the weakest line in the song. I know it's the weakest. We had trouble with that rhyme. And she listened to that line and turned it off. And I'm like, oh, I knew that it was, so anything we can do like that to distance ourselves from the song and be able to not look at it as our baby and look at it a little more objectively and, find out where the weak spots are can be really helpful.
Yeah.
Should we thank our sponsor?
Yeah, let's do it.
Sweetwater, best people, best place for gear. I've been there to their campus. It's unbelievable.
We should write them a jingle. Sweetwater.
We should. Yeah,
I want to buy my Sweetwater.
They are amazing customer service online. Ship all over the world and all that kind of stuff. So we appreciate their sponsorship of the show. Check the show notes for links to our books that Clay and I have written. He's got one on melody. I've got one on lyrics. We got one on co-writing. And we'd love for you to learn more about SongTown, too. So you can check out the link to SongTown and our community of writers from all around the world. So thanks for joining us.
Cheers.